Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It is a Sunday night, and Sunday night, every other Sunday night, we have a guest to talk about the deeper stuff with homeschooling and the deeper stuff of motherhood and all the things, right? So today I brought on with me Tony and our Thrifty Homeschool, which some of you may have seen. So, go ahead and say hi. I already see
Hi.
somebody saying hi. Yes, and Tony says hi, but there's also people I know. I've already got people in the room, and Anna jumped in. So if you're here, just give us a thumbs up because every time you give us a thumbs up, it's going to get pushed out to other people, like notify them that we're live and that they should jump in so we can get a really good conversation going in the chats. So today we're going to talk about what influences us, how to be inspired and not intimidated. So it was actually in this whole thing is because I saw this video from Tony, and she was talking about this idea. Well, social media. She started. Actually, I should probably introduce you. This is Tony. Actually,
Hi.
other side. It's like she's sitting right next to me, but she's not. So this is Tony from our Thrifty Homeschool. And I'll go ahead and throw it up here too. This is the YouTube channel. You can check it out. I will try to stick it in the links as well or in the comment section. And Tony, do you want to just take some time and tell everybody who you are?
Sure. So I'm Tony. I have four kids. They are, let's see if I can get this right, 13, 11, 9, three girls, and then the youngest is the boy. And married for 17 years. And I have been homeschooling since my oldest was in preschool. Like we've always homeschooled. So I've been doing YouTube for a couple of years now, and it's a fun little hobby. I do enjoy it. That's why I met
Mhm.
Leilani. I do not like coffee. That's one thing about me that most people don't agree with. And I'm a middle child also, and that explains a lot about my personality. So
I
that,
wish I didn't like coffee.
I wish I did. It was
Really?
great on sleepy days, but I hate it. It's gross. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm trying to throw this in the chats right now. The video that we talked about, um, it should come up right now. So if anybody wants to check it out, you can. So, okay. So, social media. So, addressing social media, the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's what you talked about, right?
Yes.
So, it can be good in a sense that it can spread the gospel, encourage us, build friendships, community, like we have right here. And but it can also cause us to stumble. It can be a stumbling block for us. It can also be deceptive. There could be lies, etc. But in your video, you specifically addressed being inspired versus being intimidated, and that we have a choice in how we receive that information and what to do with it. So, can you explain exactly what it means to be inspired and not intimidated?
Yeah. So this whole thing kind of came about because I was talking to a friend on Marco Polo, and we were just talking about social media because it's like everywhere, right? And as a woman, I have a lot of insecurities. I am sure most women have some sort of insecurity. I feel like I have a lot, and social media doesn't help. It can make it really hard when you are insecure about anything, whether it's your looks or how you homeschool or how you raise your kids or whatever. It's so easy to fall into this comparison game where you look at what they're doing and it makes you feel like I should be doing something different. So I love social media. There are like great parts of it and there are bad parts of it. I love to be able to follow other moms like on Instagram, and I think the key is, am I going to follow these moms and be inspired by them, or am I going to be intimidated and continue to look at myself and see, well, I'm not doing that, and I don't do that the same way as her, and my schoolroom doesn't look as fancy as hers, like on Instagram or Pinterest or wherever. Somebody's stuff is going to look better. A lot of people's are going to look better than yours, and it's easy to not be content with what you have, not be content with who you are and how you do things just by scrolling through. And I think we forget that, first of all, like a lot of this stuff is filtered, and their rooms have been cleaned. I mean, when I film, I make sure that I've cleaned behind me. We make sure it looks nice, and a lot of it's not real. But comparing ourselves, it's just very dangerous. And I just thought that it was something that it's an intentional choice to choose to be inspired. And I just kept catching myself, whether it was like looking at their homeschool room and wishing mine looked like that, and I don't have the money for all that matching stuff or whatever it is, or looking at some other mom on Instagram who has 4 kids just like me, but she's like really fit and I'm not, or whatever it is. And to look at that and then feel bad about yourself, or can I be inspired and say, okay, I maybe can't fit into that dress right now, but how could I, instead of looking down on myself, look at her and be like, I'm going to be inspired by her, and maybe I'll actually start working out, or I will start, eating healthy so that I can do that. And I think um, there's two sides of it. You can be inspired, you can be intimidated. And there's also a third time, like a third choice, where you can just like look at what they do and just move on. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to change who you are. But I do think there are times where we can make ourselves better. We can always grow. We can always get better at different things. And I think it's a choice. I think it's definitely an intentional choice.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. Because I was thinking even, you mentioned the third thing, and I was thinking sometimes you'll get on there and you'll see this amazing homeschool room, and you're like, "That's not for me."
yeah,
And it's not, like, you can't do everything, and you
yeah,
kinda have to sift through it, but it always seems too that you will gravitate to the things that you can relate to, that are more
yes,
similar to your personality and
yeah.
such. Um, there was something else that you said. Oh, I can't even remember now. But, yeah. So, I was gonna jump over to the comment section really quick.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm trying not to cough because I'm getting over a cold. So, I'll jump over here. A lot of people are just saying hi. Happy to be here, and Rita's there, Jill is there. Can you see them?
I can't see anybody.
I can show you.
Oh, I see. Just making it work. Hi, Anna. I see that.
So, and then here's Rita. I can flip through them and let you see, and then I just oh,
Hi.
this was, yeah, there we go. This one's not working. All right, there we go. And then, so a lot of people are saying hi. Happy to
Awesome.
be here. So here is the first comment. Shalom. So they're letting us know who they are, which is awesome. We are the parent of 7-year-old Frankie who has Down syndrome. We love watching and learning from you and her family. California. So we
Oh,
have hi from Ashley. Lots of clapping. And of course, someone's reminding everybody to hit the like button because it sends it out to everybody.
yes.
So, no questions yet. Jump in with questions, jump in with comments. Um, go for it. So, feel free. I'll try to think of what that reminded me of a little while ago. It'll come back to me. But okay, so most people do not realize, oh, that was what it was. So, influencers. So, we're influencers. And I think it's so important for people to understand that from our perspective, we are really tidying things up, and we're presenting the best of the best for the majority of the time.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, we admit it.
Yeah. We're trying to be real. I mean, there's plenty of people who are not real, but
Yeah.
like on my channel, I share a lot of failures because I want to relate to everybody. I'm not perfect. I mean, I've been homeschooling for 8 or 9 years, maybe 9 years now, and I feel like a disaster sometimes. So I think it's good that there's moms that are real and that you can relate to, but you've got to make sure you know that there are plenty that I don't know. Filtered is a good word, I guess. Just,
Yeah.
you know, you don't have to be like that, but yeah.
Yeah, and, like, for like, on my channel, if you go back to, like, 4 years ago, you're gonna see a totally different me, and I keep it on that channel because I want people to see that there's growth and change, and
Yeah.
that we're human too, and I'm having to kinda grow.
Yeah.
And, even though, like, sometimes people say stuff, doesn't necessarily mean that they're walking that way, because it's
Yeah.
head knowledge, not necessarily what they're doing. So that's another thing that I thought of too.
Well, I struggle with that too. I give great advice sometimes, and then I'll be in our homeschool and like, okay, I should rewatch my video that I put out on Monday because I'm not doing this right. Because we're human and we make mistakes, and it's not being a mom and being a homeschool mom is not easy. It's
Yeah.
all trial and error. It's all like a learning process for sure. So
My husband will watch my videos and he'll say that to me.
yeah, like remember you said we're supposed to do that? Yeah,
Yeah. "I thought you were trying to do this, Leilani." Like, he'll
yeah.
say that to me. I'm like, "I am,
Well,
but not today."
so
What was that?
my husband doesn't watch my videos. I think he's watched two. I made him watch two, but yeah, that's okay.
It's okay. You trust me, it's okay. Um, but I think that's really important for people to recognize is that people do that. They don't always show you the bad. They always show you the good, and I think that that's important to, take that into consideration.
Yeah.
So my other question, so by the way, if there's noise in the background, it's because my kids are taking advantage of the fact that I'm doing this, and they're
Yeah.
still awake. And they're supposed to be in bed, so I apologize. Most people do not realize that influence oh, yeah, that's the other thing. Most people don't realize that we get paid for products
Yeah.
and, free materials. So sometimes we'll get up there and sell stuff just to sell stuff, and it looks amazing,
Yeah.
and then you feel guilty, maybe possibly feel guilty at home saying, "Wow, I wish I had that amazing." You gave a really good example in your video. It was like a squirrel game or
Yeah.
something.
Yes.
Do you wanna talk
Exactly.
about that? I won't talk for
Yeah.
you. Go for it.
So, yeah, that's kind of what brought a lot of this on was there's this homeschool mom that I watch who's awesome, but she um, does unit studies, which I don't do unit studies. So I really shouldn't even be comparing myself to someone who does unit studies, but she does. And it's like, and there's lots of moms that do this, not just this one, but where it was like on her table, she's got like, let's say they're studying squirrels that week, and she's got little play squirrels, and she's got nuts here, and then she's got this manipulative box with squirrels in it, and then squirrel worksheets, and they're going to go out and climb a tree later that day and all this stuff. And I'm just like, how do you even get all that together? I don't have a whole unit worth of squirrel stuff to even set out on the table, and it's beautifully done and the lighting's right and all that stuff. Well, okay, so then when I was talking to my friend the other day about this, she was like, "Well, don't forget they're sent this stuff." Like she was probably, or maybe they ordered it. But, a lot of influencers, like you said, they're sent things or they're paid to promote these things. So she was probably sent this whole box worth of squirrel stuff, and all she had to do is set it out on the table. And it still does take effort, but uh it's not I don't know. We don't if we don't have that stuff and it's not being sent to us, we really shouldn't be comparing ourselves to that. I think we just forget sometimes that like these people that get this stuff for free, there's nothing wrong with getting anything for free. I think you just have to be real about it, because that was another question um, that I was just thinking. If you're sent something, you've got to make sure you are representing it in an honest way. And I think that's a question you were going to ask later, was it?
Yeah, but there's a
Oh,
really good question that I just put on
okay.
the bottom of the screen.
Yeah. What is that?
When you get a sponsor, do you actually use the product or just tell them that it's great?
Yeah. And I'm sure there's plenty who just great and then move on. And that was something that I don't do that. And there's plenty of products that, and I'm not a huge YouTuber. Um, so I'm not like, people are not knocking down my door to send me stuff, but I do get sent stuff. And there are times when I turn stuff down because I know that's not something I would use in my homeschool. That's not something I would use I'm not going to make a fake video about it saying that this is great. So, and I think I am sure Leilani's the same way. Like, we're not going to promote something that we don't believe in, but there are people who do, I'm sure. And there are some of those YouTubers that I have actually stopped watching that I used to watch, but the bigger they got, was like every single video said paid promotion, and they had a sponsor for every single video. And I get that that's how they make their money, but it's hard to believe that they're genuine, and that, like, okay, great, let's get through this little commercial here so we can get on to the rest of the video. It's hard to believe that someone really loves that product when there's a new product sponsoring every single video. And maybe that's, I shouldn't be judging that. I don't think I would not ever want to get to that point where I'm like promoting 50 different products. You want to promote
Hard to keep
what you
track
believe in.
of.
Yes. Yeah. So, yeah.
I mean, like you get the emails too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I get at least one a day.
Yeah.
A lot of companies from China.
Yes. They,
To
they
be
all say,
honest.
they all say, "Hey, hun." Do yours call you hun?
No, but they always call me Eve.
Oh, it's like they know you so personally.
I'm like, "But I'm not Eve. You haven't watched my channel." That's how I get them. I know the truth. "Did
Yes.
you really watch my channel?" They always call me Eve. But no, because she asked another question, right here. So reviewing, do we actually use the product? So I think it's an integrity thing for each person. Because I'm like, I guarantee there's people out there that just, "Oh, great, I get a free item. Let me just talk
Yeah.
about how amazing it is." Um, that has gone through my head many, many times. I did that one time. That video no longer exists on my channel. I removed it.
Yeah.
Um, and it was from China. I mean, nothing wrong with China. I mean, okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm just gonna stop. Nothing wrong with getting products from China, because a lot of our stuff is from China.
Yeah.
But, it was just like it wasn't something that I was passionate about.
Right. Yeah.
And I was telling actually, what's funny is we were talking about this before I went live, because I made a joke because 'cause I'm this was not on purpose, but I'm an affiliate with them,
Yeah.
and, but I love them.
My cup
Like,
doesn't have on it.
this is not on purpose, so I've been trying to, like, cover it up on purpose, so I didn't look like I was promoting them, and
Yeah.
my poor kids, like, chipped it and kind of sad. But, I love them because actually, I reached out to them because I love their product so
Yeah.
much, and they're, like, a pretty big company, but
Yeah.
they wanted to affiliate with me, and they send me free products, I'm not gonna lie,
Hmm.
but I would probably buy it anyway from them too because I love them so much. So
Right.
I affiliate with them because I love them, and I affiliate with, teaching textbooks for the same reasons. I started a homeschool Spanish academy. I loved them in the beginning, but now, like, we've done it for over a year, and I'm actually gonna drop them very soon. They don't know this yet. I probably shouldn't send them this video. Um, but my contract ends in January, so,
Hmm.
um, but they were great for the year. It's just we're kinda done with it. But I'm not afraid to tell, and I think you'd be the same way, and most honest YouTubers are gonna be the same way where, like, when we're done, we're done. Like, that's that. But there are a lot of people out there that their channel, their niche is, "I'm selling products," and that's the whole thing. So they're gonna jump on there and sell something, like a unit study that somebody gave you for free that you're gonna use once.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, is
Exactly.
it really? Yeah.
I have a couple. I have two curriculums that I work with, Biblioplan History and Christian Light Education. And yes, same way. I actually approached them because I love the curriculum, and I was like, I use this anyway. I'm a YouTuber. Would you like to partner with me? And they did. And but they did tell me. I think both of them have told me, we want you to be honest. I don't want you to like promote this in a way that's fake. So they've told me, to share the positives and the negatives, and I really try to do that. But yeah, not everybody does that. But um, and yeah, like I said, there's things that people have offered to send to me that I'm like, I'm not that desperate that I'm going to make a video about, like, I don't know, a chair or something that doesn't fit. It would be a real twist to try to work that into a video or something. So I try to be as genuine as possible, and I'm sure you're the same way. It's nice to make money and help our families and stuff, but we try
It's
to be.
not that much though.
No, It's
It's free
fine.
curriculum.
Yeah. Well, yeah, mine is just free. I'm not even getting paid for those. But,
Yeah.
it is in a way it's saving us huge amount of money by not having to buy that and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah. And then there's always the, curriculum or the what was I gonna say now? See, I totally forgot it. It's like mom brain.
Yeah.
I was thinking like, oh, I wanna bring it up so bad, but I completely forgot it. Anyway, it'll come
Right.
back. It'll come back. So I don't see any more questions. Guys, like I said, jump in, ask questions. Um, that's what I was gonna say. We have a lot of friends too that'll reach out to us that'll want us like it's like
Yeah.
this consumer world where
Yeah.
people are constantly they're creating stuff and then people are consuming. And
Yeah.
it's the cycle where we have everything at our fingertips and it's almost incredibly overwhelming.
Yeah, because managing your own homeschool is enough. Like using what you know works for your family. And I honestly, yeah, sometimes when I'm offered stuff, I'm like, oh, I don't have time to squeeze that in. Like I already have a full schedule and we struggle to finish at a decent time every day as it is. And yes, that would be cool, but I don't have time to do a scroll unit study, even if it was sent to me for free.
Right.
So you have to pick and choose what you need and what's really going to be beneficial to your family.
Right.
So,
And there are so many moms out there that are writing curriculum up and putting it on teacher paid teachers.
oh,
Like,
yeah.
I went through a whole period of, like, 2 months or 3 months where I just kept because I got a scholarship for Naomi, and I kept buying and buying and buying and buying, but I wasn't using any of it.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, it was, like, free like, it was free. So I was trying different things, and then I realized, like, I'm buying these things, but I'm not using them because I'm daydreaming about using them, and so then I had to really narrow it down to figure out what we were actually gonna be using.
Yeah.
It's this whole consumer, like, I wanna
Mhm.
get this and that and this and that, and then I'm gonna create and make all this money, and it's a really weird kinda
Yeah.
world, and for someone that's sitting on the outside looking in, all they see is, like, people trying to sell them stuff, and then they're just their brain is fried because they feel like you said, 1, maybe you're not doing enough,
Yeah.
and 2, completely overwhelmed, but they don't see that it's a business,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. And it can inspire you to do
Like
more.
yeah,
Said
yeah.
I talked about my video that I read the book Wild and Free, or what is it called? I forgot what it's called again.
Th there
Something about the wild and free.
I know what you're talking about. It's that
And
famous book with the black
yeah,
book.
yeah, you
Yeah,
guys know what
everybody
I'm talking
knows it.
about. The call, I think it's the Call of the Wild and Free or something. Anyway, but I started reading that, and I am not a nature walk family. We're not a like go, look at the leaves and stuff. We do sometimes, we'll go paint or something, but we definitely are not a nature walk family. But I wanted to read this book, but I said this in my video that I was intimidated by that kind of mom because like I'm more of like we do the workbooks we need to do. We do morning basket. I feel like we're pretty well rounded except for that like barefoot frolicking in the woods kind of thing. I'm not like that. That's just not us. And like I said, those people are not probably the textbook moms either. Like, that's the cool part about homeschooling is we all can be totally different styles. And I'm more of an eclectic. I've got like a combination, but I don't do a whole lot of that nature walk. But I read the book anyway, and or I didn't read the whole book, but I read part of the book, and it was really good. But I had to tell myself like, okay, what can I get out of this? What can we do? How can this inspire me to maybe add some things here and there, but not feel like I'm not enough. Just I'm not one of those moms. I can't even read this book. It really did inspire me to change some things and to try to just add that in a little more. But I had to be intentional and say, read this kind of with an open mind, but don't let it, I don't know, don't let it direct who you are. I think you can get
Yeah.
ideas from different things like that. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, that makes total sense because you're not a nature person, but
Yeah.
there's aspects of what she's saying that you can apply to your life in other areas,
Yeah.
which
Exactly.
I think is wild and free. I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's a book and it's black and it's got all the like
Yeah.
yellow and
It
red. I
has
don't
the
know.
green and yellow. I think it's The Call of the Wild and Free.
There yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta read that's the only one I haven't read.
it was really good. I think I read half of it on audiobook, but I didn't finish it, but it was good. So,
Yeah. I think that's on my list, because I just need to
yeah.
read it.
Oh, hi,
Oh,
Kate.
yeah, I'm popping them up here for you to check them out.
Awesome. Hi, Kenzie.
Couple people are jumping in and saying hi. That's so true. And so many people have, different, because I want to be a nature person, but but you hit on something. Okay, you said something that I think a lot of people feel is that those type of moms intimidate me, like that phrase. And
Yes.
that can apply to so many different moms.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, well, why are they intimidating to me?
Yeah. Well, even not in the homeschooling world, even just as like a wife, I one a friend that I met years ago is like I would say the epitome of the Proverbs 31 woman. And I at first had trouble connecting with her because I was intimidated. I was like, I'm not like that. I don't, she wears dresses all the time and she has a sweet, soft spoken voice. And I'm like yelling at my kids all the time. And, she's, I don't know. There were so many things about her that I just felt like it's too intimidating. And then I finally, kind of smacked myself and realized, okay, give her a chance. And she's amazing and a wonderful friend. And it's like, you don't have to just be friends with people who are just like you. You can, I have learned some things from her, and I was inspired to change some things, but also that's not me. I am me. I'm different. But even just as a mom or as a wife, just in the world, it's so, you really have to choose and be intentional about being inspired, or like I just so easily get I'm insecure and I just so easily let things make me feel bad about who I am. But you got to just be, I am who I am. I'm kind of a weirdo, and like, just deal with it. Be who I am.
Yeah. And the other thing is too, like some of those moms where I'm like, I can't relate to this person because they intimidate me. It's actually comes down to there's something about them that I'm jealous about, like something about them that makes me jealous. And then that's when it's like, oh, now you have to take it to your heart. Like, what's going on in here that
Yeah.
makes me jealous? And why am I choosing to be intimidated? Why am I choosing to be jealous?
Yeah.
And then my dad always says, the people that drive you crazy the most are the ones that you're going to learn more from.
That's true. Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, and I know, like, nature women don't I don't and but there are types of women that intimidate me,
Yeah.
and I don't know if the Proverbs, like, 31 woman, I don't know. I know it sounds so like, I think there's a lot of us that are like Proverbs 31, but we all don't look the same.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
we're Proverbs 31 in so many different ways,
Yes. Yeah, that's true.
but we have this idea of what like, we have a stereotype.
Oh yeah.
There
Yeah.
were and I don't know, now I'm, like, thinking, um, I don't know now. Oh my gosh, guys. Thank you, Krista. She says my dad's right. Is he watching? I should probably text him. He jumps on here every once in a while and
Aw,
watches.
that's fine.
Yeah, my dad's the one that got me doing YouTube. It's his fault.
Oh,
Um, um, but see now, like guys, go in the comment section and write down the type of mom that intimidates you.
yeah, that's such a good
That
question.
would be cool.
Yeah.
You know what intimidated me? Okay, see, Anna's on here. Anna, she's been on here before too, but I'm putting her on the spot because she knows she listened to me ramble for like ever while I was on vacation like last year. That was like my turning point. I
Oh,
was intimidated by the typical Christian perfect woman. Not necessarily the Proverbs 31 woman, but the Christian woman that had like everything like
yeah.
just the typical stereotypical Christian woman. And
Yeah.
I was intimidated but not intimidated, I was jealous.
Yeah.
Let's just be because I couldn't be that typical Christian woman. Like, and I knew that because that's not what I'm called to be, but then I felt like I should be, and I was really I don't know, maybe I'm okay. I'm gonna read what Jill, I said Jill, Anna Jill. Anna says, "The same concept is true for daily life with those in our life. If there is something another mom is doing well, it's most likely because she is blocking out a distraction and focus."
Hmm. Yeah.
It's like moment of silence.
Well,
Daily
yeah,
life routines.
kind of like the being intentional. She's intentionally putting away the things that can distract you and lead you down a really dangerous path. I think that's a really good point. Yeah.
Yeah. If there is something another mom is doing well, it's most likely because she is blocking out all distractions and focus. Okay. Sorry, I'm letting that sink in. And then she says, once I accepted that those that are doing well aren't doing everything,
Yeah.
just what she is made to do. And so then we have to recognize that we're made to be a certain way.
Hmm. Yeah. And
That's
also the moms, that perfect Christian mom you're talking about, that you see at church on Sunday, we have no idea what life is like in the van on the ride there, in their house that morning when, nobody could find matching shoes or whatever, when a kid threw up the night before. We don't know the whole story. So I think that's something too where we look at the surface and think that, they've got it all together. None of us have it all together. Some are better at putting on a better front, but I don't know.
yeah. But as soon as and so it's funny is I've noticed, like, as soon as somebody finds that Achilles heel, it can really, really hurt when they try to attack that person. Anyway, that's a whole nother topic. I'm gonna go on bunny trails. No, okay, okay. Look at this. Um, the mom who plans the whole year
Oh, yes.
and won't leave that plan.
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially like when like for me, it's like I don't plan the whole year. I don't think I could ever plan the whole year. But is
Yeah.
it just because that's annoying that they're doing now I'm like, is it annoying that they're doing that, or is it because I wish I could be like that? You
Yeah.
know? I don't know, lots of things to think about. I'm just throwing thoughts out. Okay.
I have there's this mom that I've talked about this before in some of my videos when I was planning for my year, that my goal was to be like her. She's a friend, and she's very strict with, like, they do school every single day. If they're going to skip a day, they work ahead. Like if they want to take Tuesday off to go to a field trip, Monday they'll do double of everything, and they don't miss days that weren't intentionally written down on the calendar. So kind of like with that planning, she knows what her start date is, she knows when her end date is. So anyway, after a couple years of us hitting like May, June, and all of our friends are done and we're not done with school yet, and my kids are like, when are we going to be done? I'm like, I don't know. After me being kind of loosey goosey with days that we took off and we would go on field trips and things like that, I was like, I'm going to do Mandy school this year. Her name's Mandy. And I was like, I'm going to do Mandy school and we're going to be super strict and not miss any days. And I mean, within the first week, I think something came up and we took a day off. So I failed right off the bat, but I still kept that inspiration going, even though I'm not even remotely doing, I'm not anywhere near what she does, but it has pushed me and inspired me to be more strict and to think twice before, oh, we'll take today off because I don't feel like doing it. Or, if there's something, my husband, if he's off and, well, we want to go to Sam's Club today. Okay, we'll just take the day off. Like that's how it used to be. And then we did year round homeschooling, so it's easier to do that. But I have done a lot better this year. So just looking at someone that I'm like, okay, I don't want to be her exactly. I don't want to make my kids double up and do school until 8 o'clock at night just so we can take tomorrow off. That's just not me. But I did take bits of it that have encouraged me to become better. I have been a better planner and I have done better at being a little more strict. I'm still me. I'm never going to be her and she's never going to be me, but I do think we can, encourage each other and pull from that. But it is very intimidating.
You
But
know what? That's so interesting. Because in the beginning, were you intimidated by her?
oh yeah, totally. Like I would hate to tell her when they do like the 100 days of school, like we have a bunch of homeschoolers at our church, and they're like, hey, let's all go out for donuts on the 100 days of school. I look at my kids, I'm like, I have no idea what day we're on, but we're gonna go bonus today because that's just not us. We're just not. A lot of them use like a Becca, so it's like there are numbers, and I use a mix of different curriculums. So we're on this lesson here and this lesson here, and it's just that's we're different, and that's how we are. So, but oh yeah, it was very intimidating. And then I thought, well, let me just take a little bit of her to push me to be a little stronger, and but I'll never be like that. I just, you got to be who
Did
you
you
are.
recognize that you're different?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so when you were saying all that, something came to mind, right? The idea that sometimes we put people up on a pedestal and it's almost like idolatry.
Yeah.
And we think that they can do no wrong. And then you recognize that you can't do that because you're not created to do that. And then you get frustrated and angry. Like,
Yeah.
and it causes a lot of, distension in your heart. And
Yeah,
I
definitely.
was thinking about that because there's been people that I've put on pedestals and I want to be like.
Mhm.
And then when I find out that they're a real person,
Yeah.
it's like, huh.
Yeah.
I don't like there's a reason why I admired them in the first place, but they're not perfect. So they're flawed, which makes it even better because then it's like, I don't know. Then it's like they're
Yeah.
not perfect.
No. Yeah,
They're
there's
just
just
like me
we just have different strengths and we've
and
got
I
to
can be
that.
inspired.
Yeah, exactly.
So okay, wait, I have something else, but so Anna says, I have to be careful to not be intimidated by those who are living intentionally.
Hmm.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so good. And then Krista says, I'm only raising an only child, but the mom with 10 kids only okay, so
Mhm.
I am only raising an only, but the
Yeah.
mom with okay, she has 1 kid, but the mom with 10 kids homeschooling intimidates me.
Yes.
I got that. That's
And
so true.
true. I
That's
I feel
hard.
like I'm in the middle of that with 4 and
Uh-huh.
easily intimidated by the mom with 10 kids and like how does she do that? I can barely handle my 4. And then I can be intimidated by the mom of 1 because I'm like she is able to spend so much quality time with her daughter and I'm like stretched so thin. So, yeah, we're just all in different stages and different, our families are different sizes and we just have to do what we've got to do. But I totally feel that question because I feel that I can think of 2 examples of one that has a ton of kids and one that has 1, and I can compare myself and be like, "Oh, man, I wish I could do that. I wish I did better." But we're different. We can't I don't know.
I
We're
feel
different.
that too. Do you know who I put on a pedestal? Ready? I'm gonna say it because everybody knows her. Are you ready?
Yeah.
It took me a while. Megan.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, which she has 6 kids, and I was like, "I only have 4." And I
Yeah.
went through, like, a week where I was like, "I need to have more kids so I could be like her." It was
Yeah.
maybe a fleeting thought or whatever, but I like, for the longest time,
Yeah.
I really struggled with that because I thought she was, like, the most amazing mother and did all the right things, and I couldn't be like that, but I was so because we have very similar personalities, but there's also some differences between us.
Yeah.
So, it
Yeah.
took a while, and then I got to know her and that she's a real person, but see, now we're just friends. So,
Yeah.
or anything like that. Um, but I struggled because I was intimidated by her.
Yeah.
Um, but now I just love her. Like, it took a while though. There was a lot of internal. Yeah.
And that can be I think that can be a barrier between
Time.
you and that it can be like I said with my friend, it took us too long to get close because I was putting that barrier that wasn't fair to her
Yeah.
because she was better than me. And you can miss out on good friendships by comparing yourselves or comparing your kids or like, oh, if we hang out, I hope, this mom, her kids know all the answers to all the history questions. I hope they don't ask my kids anything about, this world war or something like that. But yeah, don't let that stuff get in the way.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, pennies and salt, by the way, if people want to know what I'm talking.
Yeah.
Might advertise her channel. No, but I love her. I love
Yeah.
her. Um, so yeah, I feel that. I went so I wish I had more kids, But I went through a period like, I really struggled with that too because after Naomi, I wanted to have at least one more, but realizing with special needs and all the surgeries that were possibly gonna happen, I just was like, "I can't." But I realized God did not create me. Like, that was not his plan for my life,
Yeah.
and I have to just embrace his plan, whether it's 1 or 10. There's, like, a whole, like, homeschool ministry out there for parents with 1 kid because
I'm
it's so Huh? Did you know that?
Yeah. Well, what's her
I
I
gotta
don't know.
get Ashley West.
Oh, yeah. And
She
the
has
one
1 kid.
what's her name?
Does Jessica really? I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
So you
I
didn't know
didn't
she
know
had
that.
one? Yeah. She's one that when I first started following her, I was very intimidated because she does all these cool like game schooling and all this stuff. And it was like, yeah, I can't do that. But yeah.
So does Not Consume Ministry, that mom. She has 1, I believe.
No, I thought she had four.
I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. You're probably right. I
Four.
only because I thought I heard that from somebody, but I don't know her personally. I know the back end story, and I thought it was 1, but and I've seen her son, like, at
Yeah.
conventions.
Yeah.
So,
She has four though.
okay.
I think, but I think you've probably seen her youngest son because I've
Okay.
seen her too. But yeah.
See, now I'm intimidated by her, man. Why am I not
Yeah.
out there like that?
She's got a whole
No.
business, and yeah, her story is very cool.
Yeah.
Single mom.
But God didn't call me to do that.
Right.
God's got, like, a whole 'nother plan for me.
Yeah.
But it's his perfect plan for my life. So what can I do? I could look at Not Consume Ministries and I could be like, "That's awesome. What can I learn from her right now to
Hmm.
apply to my life that I can actually embrace?" And
Yeah.
I can be inspired by her because she's doing it.
Yeah.
And I wanna do it. My way is gonna look different than her way.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay,
Yeah.
she's definitely one that I can. Yeah.
Be
Okay.
inspired.
Yes. Okay. Wendy, I'm a nature mom. Laugh out loud. We're intimidated. No, but that's cool though. We
Yeah.
grow all our food and I should know how to
Or
say this word, forage in the forest. That's so cool. I'm intimidated by moms who do curriculum so well. That's funny.
yeah, it is.
Oh gosh. I always feel like I'm not teaching mine enough.
See,
Wow.
that's the interesting thing. I feel like whenever you do talk to that mom that you're intimidated by, they end up like complimenting you on something and you're like, "What?" And you're caught off guard because we all probably think something about the other person. I look at you like, "Man, you're so good with your daughter who's has special needs. I could never do that." We all have something that somebody else probably looks at and thinks it doesn't mean we're a perfect mom, but we have that one strength or a couple strengths, and we need to just encourage each other and not be intimidated.
Yeah. There is something I wanna bring up. I'm 10 minutes behind on the messages. Um, Totally wish I could plan the year, but life happens and my kids' interests change every month. Yes.
Yeah, planning the year.
Yeah.
I'm lucky if I plan the week. I'm trying, but I struggle with it.
I'm I have to plan the week now.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I've told any of my viewers. We're going through a program. We're doing boot camp with
Oh.
we had some major, major issues with I can't go into the detail because it's very private, but we have middle schoolers. I mean, like
Yeah.
so I have a coach he's a Christian that's coaching me and my husband. So we're doing Christian boot camp,
Wow.
which is
Okay.
gonna be good. So we're doing schedules right now,
Okay.
hour by hour. I do not like this. My husband's like, "Yes!" And I'm like, "Ugh." Like, I hate it. But we'll see. I'll
Hard.
probably make a video when I'm 6 months in.
That's awesome.
Anyway, sorry.
Try. You never know.
I know I'm gonna cry, but I'm gonna cry. Okay, so, um, go get the donuts. Yes.
Yeah. Exactly. Celebrate.
We need to guard our hearts not to be bitter just because someone has XYZ, and in the same way, we shouldn't have a pity party just because we don't do.
Yeah.
Yes.
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 So true.
I love this. It's like affirmations.
Yeah.
I am intimidated by the mom whose kids seem to always be well behaved and love school and have a great attitude.
Yes.
That's because 'cause they're
My
taught
word.
how to behave in front of others.
Yeah. I have a boy. I'm like so intimidated by anybody who has a boy that is sitting still and like obeying because mine doesn't. I feel like I have no clue what I'm doing. I totally feel that.
Yeah.
That
Speaking
is
of
real.
boys, go to bed. It's a girl, actually. It's the girl.
we we just
They're
went
peeking.
we just went to a friend's house the other day, someone who I haven't seen in years, and she had two boys that were the same age as my son. He's 7, and I don't know. My 3 girls I had first, super easy now that I look back on it, and my son, I don't know. We're getting old and tired and not doing an amazing job training him. Anyway, we're at this friend's house and the boys are just sitting there. They're eating their food politely. My son's gotten up like 5 times to come ask me questions, and they're still sitting there. And now he's done, and he's like, can we go play? And I'm like, wait till they're done. And it was very intimidating, just thinking my kid is not this like well behaved boy that's just going to sit there during an hour of dinner or whatever it is. So it is so easy to feel bad about that. But my son has so many good qualities and he has so much energy and his mind works in such a fascinating way. So you really just got to focus on the strengths because there are very hard things about each kid and about myself and about my husband. But we all have strengths. So we just got to focus on the strengths and
Yeah.
try not to be overwhelmed by that. But it is hard. It is really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally get that.
Somebody loves us. Do you see that?
Aw, we love you too.
And then, different boys are just different. I have one of each.
Oh, yeah,
Awesome.
boys.
Okay, this is what I was gonna bring up before because I don't know, I'm assuming this probably has happened to you. When somebody has put you on a pedestal, like the reverse. That's happened to you, right?
To me,
Yes.
it has, and if someone, I don't do great at taking compliments anyway, but when someone says something about, I don't know, me doing well at something, I usually am just kind of roll my eyes and think, what? Like, I don't know. I think I'm so insecure that I do struggle to see what I'm doing well sometimes because it feels like, I don't know. I really struggle with focusing on the negative aspect of myself. Even just doing this live tonight, I was like, I can't do this.
I'm like, "Yes, you can."
You encouraged me to do it, but I was terrified of doing this because I'm like, I'm going to say something dumb and I'm going to whatever. But I don't know. We need to be nicer to ourselves because at least me, I'm just a very insecure person. So I struggle a lot. So, yes, when people have said nice things, I kind of brush it off and change the subject.
Um, you know what's funny is the people that usually intimidate us tend to be insecure themselves.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
true.
So, what's funny is actually one of my closest friends, she's actually my closest friend now. When she first met me, actually, what's funny is my 2 closest friends, now that I think about it, when they first met me, they said they hated me.
Really?
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah. They said I got on their nerves because they thought I was just came across as so perfect and that I was a snob. Because not many people know this. When you meet me in person, like, I'm really quiet.
Huh. That's
Like, if I'm in a group setting,
yeah.
I'm usually quiet unless I feel like I have to perform. So when I go into performance mode, then I like, express myself and try to make but that's if I'm in a group setting. So
Yeah.
the 2 people that met me in a group setting both thought that I was a snob because I came across as so, perfect and pristine,
Honey.
and one of which was very intimidated by me. That's
Wow.
what she confesses this later now that we're, like, best friends. Um,
How did you react to that then? How did you
one of them, when she said it to me, I was hurt. And I held on to it for, like, probably a month because the way she said it to me was like, "Oh, when I first met you, Leilani, I hated you." Like, she was just like, "I hated you.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand you." And I
Oh,
was like because I was so with her, I was so wanting to please her because I wasn't intimidated. I don't think intimidated was the word, but I wanted her to like me. And
yeah,
so when I was around her, I was always putting on like I was a little uncomfortable and nervous because I wanted her to like me and appreciate me for who I was, but I didn't know how to act. So I was a little bit awkward.
yeah.
And to find that I was putting on a show and she still hated me, I was like,
Wow. And now you're best friends.
yeah, we are. She calls me like multiple times a day. I'm
Yeah.
not joking. Well, or text me. And then the other one, um, she just I guess maybe because she thought I was just really quiet, and just she just didn't like me because I was too quiet and she thought I was a snob.
Yeah.
And then, but I'm gonna bring this up too. Okay, another thing that happened is I get comments on my channel, and maybe you have some advice for this. Um, one person I don't even remember her name. I don't even know if she's on here because that would be awkward. But but she said that she purchased, like, all the curriculum that I had, and then she said it wasn't working for her, and she felt like she was failing.
Oh,
And I felt horrible because I was trying to explain to her, like, it doesn't always work for everybody, and I don't
right.
know, what would you how would from your perspective, what would you say?
That's hard. Yeah. I mean, when I promote curriculum, I'm saying how it works for our family, for our kids. I would not expect someone to be able to use every single kind of curriculum that we use. So I don't know how I would be surprised that someone would just because our kids are all different. I mean, I haven't gotten to that point yet where I have a different. Well, I guess there's a couple things where I have like a different language for a couple different kids. But even your own family, a lot of times they have different needs. So I don't know. Don't expect what someone uses across the board to work for your family. There's probably rarely does that happen, I would think. Yeah.
Yeah, because that was a tough one because I felt awful because it
Yeah.
kinda came across that she was putting me on a pedestal
Yeah.
using me as, like, that if it works for Leilani and it
Yeah.
doesn't work for me, there's something wrong with me. And I was like, "No."
Yeah.
I didn't know how to, like I felt horrible because I didn't want I mean, I promote the curriculum as being good curriculum because it's working for me, but it's not gonna work for everybody.
Yeah.
Um,
But I
just
could see that in the beginning. And when I first started homeschooling, my first question when I meet a homeschool mom was, "What curriculum do you use?" Because I'm like, okay, well maybe I should use that, and that's what I did. My sister-in-law was one that I knew. She had been homeschooling for years, so I used what she used because it worked for her. Well, it didn't work for us. I didn't like it, and it just took trial and error. She's graduated one child, and she has three more coming up with the same curriculum she's used from day one, and I used that 1 year, and it didn't work for us. So you just gotta but in the beginning when you don't know, it's so overwhelming. Like the first time I went to a convention and it's like all these booths and all this curriculum, and we bought like the first person that was nice to us, we bought that curriculum because I didn't know what else to do. But which is really a great way to base your curriculum on. But there's so much out there that yeah, it's almost like, well, you ask somebody that you know or you trust someone on YouTube, and you're like, well, that works for her. I'm sure it happens a lot. I would assume. How else are you going to know to start? You have to kind of go by what you hear. But don't feel bad if it doesn't work. If it doesn't work for you, switch to something else. Don't feel bad about switching even mid-year. I've switched mid-year before because it what's the point in keep going with something that doesn't work? So,
see, and
yeah.
it's good to find that's when it's good to find YouTubers or people to inspire you that are similar to you and
Yeah.
have similar situations that you or people that you can relate to.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
one technique. Excuse me. Um, love the focus on strengths.
Yeah.
These are people commenting. I was trying to like scroll. It indeed is hard.
Yeah.
You're gonna love the next one. Ready? Christian Light.
Oh,
I
awesome.
love them too, actually. I
Yeah,
really do.
I do too. I Christian Light is awesome.
Yeah.
And your
And
kids
then
might not feel like it's the most fun curriculum, but it is solid. It's good.
mhm,
Oh, well, that makes me feel happy.
we need to think for ourselves.
Yes, we do.
Okay, this one's a question, I think. Oh, how many different curriculums can you use, though, if each child needs their own thing? You gotta do what's best for you. Sometimes it's really overwhelming, but if they can work independent,
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
you're not just picking what's best for your child. You also have to pick something that works for you to teach. Because if I don't know, you've got there. I'll give you an example. I loved Heart of Dakota. That was a curriculum I used for a couple years. My kids really loved it, but it became too much for me to teach. It was so much because the way my kids were spread out, I had to teach a different guide with all three of my girls. So when I was getting ready to bring my son up to actually start doing school, I knew that even though that curriculum was good and I loved it, I knew I could not handle teaching all four of my kids in four different levels. And it's not something that you can really combine unless they're real close in age. So sometimes you got to do what is best for mom. You got to, I guess you got to balance it. You know, you got to do what's best for your child, but you've got to do what's best for you too, because you are the teacher and you've got to make sure it all works together. So I don't know.
I always tell parents, like, when you first start homeschooling, it's good to get a box curriculum, but also get something that you enjoy teaching and
Yes.
then kind of go from there with your kids. But,
Yeah. Oh,
um,
it and you hit like 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon and fall asleep reading to them.
how many moms have ever done that? No, none?
Hey,
No?
because I don't drink coffee.
How about when they're reading to you? Is that what you said?
I fall asleep sometimes when I'm reading to them. I'm start reading really slow. Yeah, sometimes when they're reading to me too. I try really hard, but it that's that time in the afternoon. It's like we should not be doing reading right now. We should not be doing history. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I've got an elbow. I'm so glad that my 3 oldest can read. My
Yeah.
youngest, her program is very hands-on, so there's no falling asleep with her at
Yeah.
all. Like, it's not happening, but, man, I dozed off many, many times, especially since I had heard of those books, because I use the same books,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
they were like, "I got the elbow, mom, wake up. I'm reading. I'm
See?
done. Do I have to read more?" Because we do it on the couch. Why do we do that?
Yes. Under
Oh
a
my god.
blanket, and you're all cozy and warm. Yeah.
I'm not the only one.
No?
Alright, so okay, we might have I'm gonna because I wrote out questions.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if I touched on this or not. So, do you think this idea being inspired versus being intimidated is anything new?
I don't think it's anything new, but I think that it's more relevant than ever because of social media being everywhere. So I really think it's um I think of our kids, it's scary raising kids in this generation of because of a lot of things, but social media is so dangerous in what it can do to teenagers and what it can do and make people feel, we all know girls struggle with insecurities and oh, I would not want to be a teenager right now in this age of social media. So I definitely don't think it's a new idea, but I think that with living in an era where filters are the norm, where you can't take a picture unless it's good lighting, if you can't do a good deed unless it's being filmed and then you post it on social media, it doesn't count otherwise, stuff like that, where I think that um, really makes this so much more important in choosing, like teaching our kids. I have a 13-year-old girl. She's not on social media yet, and I don't know at what stage we will do that, but I know how dangerous it can be. It was hard enough, just being a kid. I went to public school. It was hard enough being, an awkward teenager in public school with people writing a note about, look at her hair today. She's such a weirdo, and passing it to the person next to you. But imagine it being like plastered all over social media or people, the things kids do nowadays. It's bad. Um, so teaching our kids to be inspired, like I really feel like I have to be intentional with my girls, especially. I'm the same way with boys, but especially with my girls. I'm really going to try to encourage them to choose the right role models. And yeah, you can be on social media, but try to follow Christian girls. Try to follow certain people, people that dress modestly, things that are the same character traits that we want you to have. That's who you need to follow. There have been girls, there were these girls, I can't think of the name right now, but when my daughters used to watch these two sisters on YouTube Kids. So they were the YouTube Kids, they were young at that point. Um, and they loved them. They made slime and I don't know, did all these different competitions and stuff. Anyway, the girls grew up, the girls on the video, they grew up and my girls loved them. And then next thing you know it, they're on regular YouTube because they're older and they're like 16, 17, 18. Now they're wearing crop tops and, talking about, oh, I just broke up with my boyfriend. And I think this was like last year. So like my 12-year-old who I used to think those girls were fine to watch, but now they've grown up over YouTube, and my daughter's still only 12. And she just watched a video about what do I do when my boyfriend just broke up with me. That's where it's like, okay, we got to be very selective on who we follow and how we're being influenced. It's just so easy to be influenced by the wrong thing, especially as a Christian. It is not easy being a Christian in the social media world.
So here is something I had a conversation with because it reminded me of what you said. Okay. Like the aesthetic of beauty, like physical beauty. And so I was having this discussion with somebody else because on my channel, when I first went on, I never really took care of the way I looked. I just would jump on, no makeup, no nothing, or like I'd just be whatever. Cause I was
Yeah.
like, I gotta be real, cause that's what everybody says when they start YouTube. But
Yeah.
then you notice things like people will say things to you and like your friends will say stuff to you and you like comments from people just criticizing and it starts to hurt.
Yeah.
But then you realize like it's really sad and it's really true. But the way you present yourself physically, depending like people when you present yourself physically like you put your makeup on and you dress up, you will get more respect.
Hmm.
I'm saying that because it's true.
Yeah.
Um, and you'll notice a difference because it's more professional.
Hmm.
And there's something about looking beautiful, physically beautiful, that draws people and people respect that. And
Yeah.
so I was talking to them and they were just talking about, God is beautiful and just by nature we're drawn to beauty, even though it's twisted
Hmm.
of what beauty is to us now in our flesh. So I don't know. Just thought I'd throw that thought out there
Yeah.
because when you were talking about these women that are getting on with crop tops and they're probably beautiful, right?
Yeah.
I'm guessing
Oh yeah.
like
Hmm.
beautiful. They're probably like, well, they're right because they're so beautiful and they're not thinking through, especially for those kids when their frontal lobe isn't developed and everything is based on emotions,
Yeah.
you know?
And that's where you teach them beauty in a simplistic way. Like I wear makeup wherever I go. I've just always enjoyed wearing makeup. And my daughter, when she turned 13, she was allowed to wear makeup. Um, she does it in a very simple way. She doesn't even wear as much as me. She just wears a little bit. And I think teaching them that, like being simple with beauty, I think it's fine. I mean, some people probably are not okay with makeup. I am, but I like that she does it in a very simple way. And then modesty can be beautiful. And that's something that even our teens at church, it is a struggle. All it takes, like we go to a very conservative Baptist church. All it takes is one girl to come in with booty shorts. And then all of a sudden my daughter feels like she's frumpy or whatever. And all these other girls are dressing modestly, but it just takes that one where it's like, well, I want to be like that. And that is a hard thing as a teenager. I struggled with that as a teen. I was very immodest and I was a Christian, but I felt like my insecurities, the only thing I can do to be pretty is to wear short skirts because I had nothing up top. So I wore really short skirts or short shorts or whatever. And as a girl, it's just so easy to focus on that and feel like, well, it's not pretty to be modest. Really trying to, we're blessed to be in my kids are in a youth group that modesty is like a requirement. They have a dress code, but it's still outside of church. It's still a struggle. We're like, for us, we don't wear leggings out of the house. Or if you do, your shirt has to be really long. And it's a daily battle because, she's a teenager and she's human and it's hard. And I went through this too. That's why I didn't want girls in the first place. And God gave me 3 girls, but because I know how hard I was as a teenager. But I don't know. I think we just need to, like, I actually have a couple ladies that I've recently started following on Instagram that are modesty. It's like modest clothing. And I don't know, even for me, having that mindset of like, that's the kind of stuff I need to get my girls and make sure it's like cute and trendy, but you don't have to show everything. So,
So here's the question. When that girl walks in with booty shorts, how can we teach our kids to be inspired by that?
uh, I don't think that would be something to be inspired by. I think that would be something to just challenge you and say, I know that that's not what I want.
So I was thinking it could challenge them to be inspired by understanding that who they are, who they are
That's
supposed to be. I don't know. I was going a little bit. I was going a little deep there.
hard.
Sorry. Huh?
That's a hard question.
But just, I mean, I don't know. Like, I know for me, if something bothers me about somebody, I have a tendency going, okay, why? Because it's me, it's my sin that
Yeah.
they're bothering me, whether I'm intimidated. So then I have to, like, what
Yeah.
is it
That's true.
about me? Like, what's going on in here?
Yeah. That you
Is
should,
it,
yeah, I guess just teaching your daughter in that situation to just embrace who she is and don't even worry about that. That's like
yeah,
yeah, she can, her mom's in charge of her and she does but you don't need to, it doesn't have to affect you. Like we
yeah,
talked about earlier, that you can see that mom who has it all together on Instagram. It doesn't have to affect you. You can just look at it and then move on.
move on.
Probably the choice we need to make with that.
Mhm, mhm. But yeah,
Yeah.
so true. Definitely. Um, yeah. It just got me thinking about, like, where is your identity? And
Yeah.
I was the one of the things that came to mind when you were saying, I don't know what you were saying specifically, but I was thinking about the middle school with teenagers and adolescents and brain development. I'm all into that right now. The frontal lobe is the last thing to develop, and how us as parents have to help them. We're like their frontal lobe right now.
Hmm.
Do you know what I mean by the frontal
Yeah.
lobe?
Yeah.
So the frontal lobe is in charge of planning and decision making
Yeah.
and making right choices. So it's and basing your response. So it's almost like teaching them those good Christian firm foundations in the beginning is
Mhm.
like their frontal lobe. The decision's already made for them, and how they should
Yeah.
respond is already made for them. They just need to make sure they know scripture.
Yeah. That's a
And
very,
throw that out there.
yeah, that's good.
I don't know if that has anything to do. It kinda bunny trailed a little bit.
No,
I
that's,
tend to bunny trail.
well, that's what we're supposed to be as parents, is we're supposed to be there making decisions for them. They shouldn't be making life decisions, or they're not mature enough to do that right now. In
Yeah,
some, that's training. What is it? Train up a child
in
in the
the
way
way.
to go, and he will not depart from it. Something like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So we can inspire them.
yeah.
Okay, so I feel like we kinda answered this one because it was my last question, which was for the homeschool mom who is struggling, feeling intimidated by social media personalities, what would you say to them?
I would just say be confident in who you are and God and who God made you, and choose to be inspired or not, but you've got to just learn who you are and embrace it. And I mean, I am a very, like I said before, I'm very intimidated. I'm the same way when it comes to like big groups. I won't talk. I hate this about myself, but I will not like talk if there's like a big group of ladies unless someone asks me a question. I'm just so, I don't know why that is. Anyway, There are things that I don't love about myself, but that's who I am. I'm not someone who's going to burst into a room and be like, "Hey, I'm Tony." That's just not me. So you just need to embrace who you are, be that. Like, my girls are very quiet, very shy girls, and would I love for them to go up and introduce themselves to people? I would love that. I don't want them to have that quality that I have necessarily, because I feel like it's held me back, for times in my life. But I also know that is them. That's not because they're homeschooled either. It's not because they go to. I think, like I said, I went to public school, and that's how I was. So when people say, like, "Oh, they're just not socialized," oh, they're plenty socialized. We go to church 3 times a week. We hang out with friends. They're around people all the time. They're just shy, and they have quiet, passive personalities. But it's so you can look at that as a negative thing, because they're not the kid that's always in the center of attention. They're not um they're not the life of the party necessarily, but when you talk to them one on one, they're amazing kids. And even, we can look at ourselves, whether you're the life of the party or whether you're the quiet person, that's who God made you, and just embrace it. And, as long as, if you're a homeschool mom and you're doing what you know is best for your kids love you at your worst, which is awesome. Like, when you get really mad at your kid and they did something terrible the night before, sometimes we wake up the next day and we're mad still, but they're not. They've always moved on. Well, teenagers are different, I think. But the little ones always move on. And, like, I
Teenage
remember my kid,
girls.
huh?
I was gonna say teenage girls
Yeah,
are worse.
they hold on to it a little longer. The but I love that God has. Sometimes it's irritated me that God made them so, like, easy to move on, because it's like, I want you to remember what you did or whatever. But then I love that they just move on, because we make mistakes too, and they love us. So as long as you're doing what your kids need and you're being who you are, that God's made you, then you're doing it all right. I don't know.
No, that's awesome. I love that. I love that. I love all of that. Okay, so we're pretty much done. I just always love doing this at the end. I should have like pre-questions, but if anybody has crazy questions to ask us, because I always did I tell you about that part? No,
I
I
think
didn't.
I forgot about it.
Okay, so at the end, if anybody has any fun questions like, "Hey, what do you like better, coffee or tea?" Which we know the answer to that now.
Yes.
Um,
That,
oh, listen, Christina jumped on here really quick. So, but first of all, comment things. So if you guys have any fun questions. But Christina, look at this.
club. Oh yeah. Classical conversation moms. Yes.
So I'm gonna do a video one day on what I really think about classical conversations.
They scare me too.
I have a love and not love relationship with classical conversations.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
so
very
I'll leave it
intimidating.
at that.
It's
Huh?
very I think it's very intimidating. I
Yeah.
agree. But that's not something I want in my homeschool either. I don't want them to just memorize. Like, it's very, very impressive that those kids can, like, blurb all that stuff out. But I in our homeschool, I don't know. We don't want to just sit and memorize stuff. That's just not the way we do it. So, but I used to think I needed to do classical conversations. In the beginning, I was like, when I think it was at the convention, a homeschool convention, they had kids that were, like, saying I don't know, some speech, or they were saying all this stuff, or all the dates of every war that ever happened or something. And I'm like, oh my word, I need to get that, because my kids need to know all that. And I saw the price and I was like, no, thank you. But um, yeah. So
So they say IEW is used by classical conversations, which is great. I don't think they label themselves as classic. Well, they kind of do, but I don't think it's the. I like the memorizing because I feel like, but not like I don't know. To each his own, because sometimes it's really good.
yeah.
The problem that I have with oh my gosh, I'm going to open up because of the mindset where it comes from. Classical conversations is very Greek minded, by the way. Um, There's a lot of good things about it, though.
Yeah.
So that's why I like with classical conversations, it's kind of like there's a lot that I love about it, but there's a lot that I dislike about it. But the one thing that I dislike about it is it teaches or reinforces that Greek mindset,
Okay.
which when you take that back to scripture, scripture was not written in a Greek mindset. It was written from a Hebrew perspective. So
That's,
if you try to apply classical conversations, Greek mindset logic to Hebrew scriptures, you're going to run into so many issues
hmm,
because Greek is very, oh my gosh, this is so off topic, linear. So if A equals B, B equals C, C equals D, D equals like etc. So if A equals B, I'm sorry, I said that A equals B, B equals C, C equals D, then A must equal D. Does that make sense?
yeah.
That's
Hmm.
the linear. If you're going to take that and apply it to scripture, try this. Um, Jesus is God, the Father is God, the Son is God. Therefore, I said that wrong, didn't I? Jesus is God, Father is God, Spirit is God. Therefore, Jesus is the Spirit. It doesn't make sense
Yeah,
logically.
that's
But with
true.
the Greek mindset, it does. So you
Okay.
run into all these problems with like God is 100% man and 100% spirit. So what do you do with that? That's why the
Yeah.
Greek perspective is box logic,
Hmm.
which is not Greek. Totally off topic.
Interesting.
Sorry. So that's but I get the classical mom scares me.
Yeah.
And but another thing going back to on topic, I just because that stuff's cool. Sorry, I totally went off topic.
So you just intimidated a bunch of us.
But it's scary to think about that because then it's
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, because we live in such a Greek mindset society. We think that way because that's how we were trained.
Yeah. That's very
A
cool.
lot of us are.
Hmm.
Anyway, but with the classical, I know for me in our community, there was a stereotype that classical conversation moms or CC moms were snobs. I don't know if you got that in your community, but it was just like this stereotype that circulated,
Okay.
whether it's true or not. I
Yeah.
don't know if it was because other moms were intimidated. So the thing that they just threw
Yeah.
out there is like, oh, they're such snobs because
Yeah.
they didn't know how to handle those feelings from inside.
Yeah.
Just that's a thought.
That's a good point. Huh.
Okay. I see I should do okay, people have fun. I was waiting for some comments to come up, and it seems like we have one person asking fun comments.
Okay.
So we're just gonna answer them. Okay,
All right.
and then we'll close. Alright,
Okay.
do either of you collect anything? You first.
I collect sand.
What? That's
Yeah.
cool.
I ever since I was in high school, I have been collecting sand from beaches all over the place, and friends would get me sand when they went to the beach. So actually, on my piano, I have a bunch of sand in like really pretty glass jars, and yeah,
That's cool. Do you have any sand from Florida?
I do. I have quite a bit
Okay.
in Florida. Yeah, Clearwater Beach is my favorite. It's interesting. It really is cool because you can see the different kinds of sand, and some are like dirty beaches, and the Clearwater one was the one that was like a white, really pretty white soft sand. So
Yeah.
the cool science experiment too. But
That's
yeah.
the beach that I grew up around. That's, like, the beach I went
Oh,
to for years.
oh,
So I know
so
what you mean.
that's cool. Yeah. What about you?
I was gonna say people, but that sounds so creepy.
Yeah.
Um But, like, friends, I like collecting friends,
Oh,
but that's not a thing. That sounds like I stalk and kidnap people.
yeah.
Um,
10 or something.
no, I don't really collect much. I could say I collect Christmas cards
Oh, yeah.
because I'm kind of obsessed, even though I don't really celebrate Christmas. I love
Oh, yeah.
Christmas cards. It's really weird.
Aw, that's cool.
I really do. I think okay. Alright. Look, 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 Krista says, "You're the second person that I've ever heard that collects sand."
Really? Ah, that's funny. I've never met anybody else that does. See, I told you I was a weirdo.
I did collect dirt once when I was in high school.
Oh,
It's not
that's
sand.
that doesn't sound as glamorous as sand.
Yeah. Okay. Alright. People. Okay, she's laughing in my people comment. Hold on. 'Cause I think the one thing that I love is I love to make friends, and I
It
love
does,
to,
it
like
does sound like a true crime documentary type of thing, though. A little creepy.
but I think if it's collect, like, physical things, Christmas
Yeah.
cards or books.
Oh, yeah. I'm the same with books. Totally.
Yeah. Okay. Share an instant when you felt old.
Ooh. Happens all the time. Okay, I'll say I have a good one. The first time at church when I'm trying to think what age it was. I think it was when I was 35. I think it was 35. You know those comment cards at church? I don't know if you guys have them, but we have like comment cards where you fill it in when you're a visitor or whatever. Well, you like check the box if you're, 0 to 18, and then 18 to 35, and then when I turned 36, it was 36 to 50. And I was like, I don't want to be in that box. I felt so old. So yeah, that was the first time. I was really, really sad. Box.
First time. Oh, man. I didn't think first time. I was thinking about, like, lots of different instances. See, now I can't think. Probably, like, hearing the music that I listened to in high school, like, in an elevator or in the
Oh,
doctor's office.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. We are old.
But you know what's fun? I don't know how old you are. How
Should
old
I, I'm
are
42.
you over for yes, go 40s. Um,
How old are you?
40, 44. But
Okay.
see, I'm so proud to be 40
Are
in my
you?
40s. Oh, I love it.
I
I
just
love it.
I feel so old. I don't love it, but that's okay.
I'm embracing it.
Well, that's
I'm
good.
embracing every gray hair,
You are
every
inspired
gray hair.
to be embraced. To embrace 40. 40,
Well,
40.
see, here's my thing. My mom passed away when she was 40 on her 40th birthday.
Oh,
So, when I always told myself that when I turned 40, every day after that age, I was going to embrace because my mom never had that.
oh, that's cool. That's a good way to look at it. Yeah, that's really neat.
So, I have no plans on dyeing my hair.
Good. Oh, that's cool.
So,
Good.
yeah. Yay 40s.
Yeah.
Yay. So that's it, and I'm like, I'm out of water to keep me from coughing.
Well, this was fun. It wasn't as scary as
You
I
hear my
thought it was.
voice. It's not scary.
Yeah.
So and people just come on. So I have not planned someone for 2 weeks. I kinda have a couple people up in there. I feel like I just need to do, like, a Christmas because that's all people are watching nowadays. Because everyone's like, "I'm done with homeschooling. Let's
Yeah.
just Christmas."
Yeah. Oh,
So, I don't know what I'm gonna plan in 2 weeks yet. I do have some people. Oh, I think I do have one planned. I gotta talk to her again. But I can't say anything yet. So, actually, you know what? If you guys have any suggestions for me, because I have some people that are big name people that I'm wanting to reach out to since I've been doing this, like
awesome.
big names.
Like
Um,
homeschool.
yeah, curriculum writers.
Um,
Huh?
I said like our thrifty homeschool.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I thought you said something else. Yeah, yes.
I'm
Yes. But like if people have suggestions for me,
yeah.
like I'm working on getting someone who is a curriculum writer. He's gonna
That
come on. He doesn't have a choice. Um, but like, yeah, which I should probably share. This is kind of cool. I'm gonna be on Andrew Pudawa's podcast.
that's awesome.
I record Tuesday, so pray that my voice. You can already hear it going.
Oh, keep your
So I'm
water.
like, I got my tea.
Ah,
That's all I'm drinking tomorrow.
wow, that's
So I'm
exciting.
down in it.
That's
So
so cool.
hopefully Tuesday I'll be okay. But I don't sound that bad. I don't think.
I wouldn't have known you were
Yeah,
getting. Yeah.
getting over it. Bleh. But,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm trying to so if you guys have any suggestions, let me know that I can get on here and start deep talking. But even just, yeah, the one that's a curriculum writer, if I get him in the right space, I can get him to talk some good stuff. He's
Yeah.
famous too. So he's gonna be on my channel.
Very.
Um, but I can't really say because it's not set in stone. Um, so if anybody, yeah, just throw it on there. Let me know if you know anybody that I don't know about. Let us know. Or let me know. I'm saying us, like now you're just a part of my community.
Aw. Well,
Yay.
having me, this was super fun. And
It
thank you,
was fun, I told you.
everybody. Bye. Thank you guys.
So thank you guys, everybody who watched. And if you joined us late, you can always watch the replay. It's in the live section. I also have a playlist with all these really good lives that I just ask lots of questions, get you thinking about like just the deeper things. I think that's what we're exploring is just getting down deep, getting down to the heart of things, getting down to just being a person and being real.
That's awesome.
So thank you guys. And once again, I'll throw you're on Instagram too. So
Yes.
here's her Instagram,
Yes.
Arthur P. Homeschool, and
Mhm.
then her YouTube channel.
I share lots of failures. So if you want to feel like and feel like you're better than me, then check out my channel.
That's not true. But okay.
I like to share that I'm real. I'll just say I'm real.
It's
Yeah.
a community. Like, it feels like you're just a part and, like, even oh my gosh, I even said this to you. I'm being inspired, not intimidated because you are so beautiful. Um, not to
Oh,
embarrass you, but I was trying to find pictures on your channel, and, like, every picture was such a good picture.
aw.
So, I was
It's
like,
very
"She's
nice.
so beautiful, and she's
Thank
so
you.
photogenic."
You're so sweet. See, I don't feel that way. So thank you. So I'm going to try to take a compliment. Yeah.
But
Thank you.
embrace that, you know?
Yeah.
And but your channel is amazing too because 'cause you're so real and, you're fun.
Well, thank you. I think the same about you. For fun. We have similar personalities, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I actually reached out to her because I was like, "You have to be my friend now." I was collecting people.
Yeah. I the heads in the jar in her basement.
If Summer was on here, she would die. Do you know Summer Myers?
Yes. Uh-huh.
We have a joke, which I'll tell you privately.
Okay.
I won't say it. I won't say it where people can hear me. Um, so Krista says, here we go. So wait, I'll go backwards. Oh, I was going backwards, but now I'm going forwards. So Anna says, enjoy hearing from both of you. Thank you. Love spending the evening with you gals.
Aw.
I sew in the evenings and enjoy it. Oh, so she actually sews. So
Oh,
awesome.
that's
I
awesome.
am intimidated by you because I can't sew.
Me neither. That's awesome.
I took a costuming class in college because I thought it would be an easy A.
Not. Yeah. I don't sew either.
So good for you. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
That is awesome. Thanks
That
for
is awesome.
super cool.
All right. I hate saying goodbye, but I'm going to say goodbye to my audience.
Bye.
Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you. I'll see you around. I will find something to put on here, and please check out Tony so she can see you guys too. So thank you so much. Bye,
Bye.
guys.
See ya.